reputation, such a great institution. But I have a disclaimer here, which may help me. My presentation has nothing to do with dashboards. It's about mobile revolution. And, well, what do we know about it? We know that museums feel quite insecure about it. Some development, which is a little bit frightening, but all the people bring these devices with them, so museums do want to create some applications. So those of them who have funds, they really do it. Those of them who do not have these funds, they just trying to find them. And we started our research back in 2011. It was in Stockholm, I remember. We visited three of these great museums: Vasa Museum, Nordiska Museum, and Skansen Museum. You see two of them in the picture. And back in those times, they all wanted to develop their own application. And after 4 years, two of them managed to do it. So they have it. But the question is it a solution to the problem? Because if you look at the details, you realize that when museums start to develop their own application, it means some initial cost. Okay, you've done it. But then with every new version of operating system, iOS, Android, Windows, yeah, you have to support 3 platforms. With every new version, you have to redo the application to update it, otherwise it doesn't work. You have to fight with the bugs, you have to upgrade to the new functionality which people require. So at some moment, museum finds that they're quite deep in software development. And you cannot stop it. At the moment you stop, the next version of operating system simply kills your application. So it's there forever. It's from museum side. But from the end user point of view, it's also not so gorgeous. People who come to Stockholm, they have to install 3 different applications in 3 different museums. And probably they have to install application number 4 if they want to explore the city. So they keep on installing and learning different applications. I'm not sure people really like to install many applications. What do they like? They like to have one application for the whole world. It's like Google Maps. You have one map for the whole world. You don't install different applications for every city, or several maps for different cities. So the ideal solution is when museums don't bother with technology at all, and people have one application for the whole world of museums and cities. So I think we have a solution, which might be a solution, which we call open platform. How does it work? I want to run this small movie, just to
Here is a rather glorious heritage object. Its story could be told in a very simple way, or very much more interestingly. That's what we call multimedia content, and it can be played on a regular smartphone. It's convenient for the visitor. He's using his own phone, which he knows best. And it's so convenient for the museum, there's no need to maintain special equipment. What's not convenient for the visitor is continually downloading new applications every time he goes to a new museum. Gone is the struggle to learn new interfaces. There's an obvious solution. The visitor should have just one application of his own choice and a simple way to download any museum content into this application. And that is not all. Usually, museums only focus on the objects that they keep inside, even though there are plenty of objects in the city around the museum which closely relate to it and its collection. Your museum could create outdoor audio tours which naturally progress into your main exhibition space. And that is a very good way to attract more visitors. Well, now that is possible. Outdoor and indoor, online and offline, the software platform from izi.TRAVEL allows you to do all that and much more. Like all these popular online services, izi.TRAVEL is also absolutely free. It consists of a web-based content management system with an intuitive interface for mastering and publishing audio tours, and handy mobile applications capable of finding and delivering all existing content in your city and all your city museums. Take a look at our next video for more information on how it all works.
Well, there will be no more videos. That actually explains what we do in a nutshell. But the idea is very simple. We are a storytelling platform, and it's quite easy to create the application with us, and some museums really do it in 1 week. They just simply record stories, publish them, and announce. All the museums have to do just to put a nice poster. We have free mobile audio guide for you. Actually, I think we haven't invented any bicycle here, and I would like to show the slide. I think I took it from Metropolitan Museum of Art. They really made it good. So when museums work with public, 20 years ago they used the web technology. It worked pretty well. But now they find that they started to use many other platforms. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr, whatever. Every day they update the information in the systems. Why they do it? Because on the website they have thousands of visitors. Through these platforms they get reach to millions of them. And it also works two-way, so they get the feedback from people as well. So we believe what we have done, we just built another platform, but unlike all other platforms, this platform is really focused on the world of museums and city travel authorities. So it's for guided tours in cities and museum audio guides. Well, and a couple of years about the company, we have headquarters in Amsterdam. We have more than 60 people already. And we already have 1,000 guided tours and 350 museums. And we are growing pretty fast, around 15% per month. So every day we have more than one museum who really published. So it's really developing platform. As it was mentioned in the video, we have the CMS. It's quite simple, it's web-based, and it's as easy as upload your files through Facebook. And it allows you to control your objects, and you may add them, remove them. You may mark some of them as for publish. You may publish some of them, you may mark some of them for limited publishing, just to test and show to your colleagues. Mobile application is quite functional, online, offline, GPS triggered, and it works on most mobile platforms and also web. But I'm not going to dive into that. You may study it yourself, and I'm going to talk about other stuff. The one feature which we really like about our application is this one, the city of Geneva. You have all guided tours and all museums on one screen. So you may click on some of them and see this guided tour, or you may click on another icon and see this museum, and then you explore them. And actually that's advantage, and it has some consequences. And these consequences I'm going to explain through the case of city of Geneva. The whole story started a couple years ago. We made a guided tour in Geneva, referring to different museums in the city. And after that, we approached the Museum of Art and History. They were nice enough to accept us. And after a couple of weeks of that, we received a call from David Martin, from Museum of Art, who told us, guys, I want to launch a mobile application in 2 weeks, because we had exhibition. Okay, we did it in 2 weeks, of course. And the Art Museum was happy, they had audio guide, and then they did for one exhibition for half a year, another one. After the third one, they helped us to get introduced to Museum of Art and History. Now you may go there and explore it yourself. For Museum of Art and History, it was also quite easy, because they already had hardware audio guides. All they had to do just to move these files from hardware to our platform. Now they have mobile application for those who bring the devices, the telephones, and hardware devices for those who don't have it. So it's quite convenient for all type of public. And probably it's better to, David, may just give you a microphone for a couple of words, and you tell how you see it from your side. Just a couple of words. Because
yes. It works, yes. It's true. We make it fast. We make it fast. It was for us an experiment to work with izi.TRAVEL, and now after 3 years, I think, yeah, 2-3 years, we are very happy to work with izi.TRAVEL. We have one application for our 4 seats of exhibition. It's very user friendly. The people who use izi.TRAVEL can in 2 clicks have the audio comment. For me, it's very important to know, have to learn how an application works. And for us, it's very efficient, because we can put our resources in writing, in storytelling, in recording, and then all the technical aspects are managed by izi.TRAVEL. It's a very good platform, and I think for museum it's very interesting. To work about audio comments. You let the look free. You can look at the works. It's very interesting to work with this platform.
Thank you, David. We are quite grateful to David, because he was the first in Geneva to try us. And you know, it's quite easy now when we have 300 museums and they publish themselves. Now we don't even know about them. Okay, it goes like snowball, but the first time it's very difficult and we need a champion. And David really helped us not only to try it in Art Museum, but also through the 2 years, it was enormous help in explaining us what do museums really want. Because we are just technicians, we don't know the stuff, and we need the feedback from you guys so that to improve further. So it started from Museum of Art, then was Museum of Art and History. Later on was a great museum, MuseumTravel. It's the oldest house in Geneva, and it's a city museum. And after that was private museum, Barbier Müller Museum, really nice small museum. And even, believe it or not, Russian Orthodox Church joined the club because it's part of the cultural heritage of Geneva. And they decided to let tourists who come to the church to install the application at the entrance of the church. So they put the headphones and they get into the church, listen stories in their own language. They don't disturb the service of the church. Everybody's happy. Well, what do we have now in Geneva after this couple of years? We have already 4 museums and 8 in pipeline, and I think next week it will be archaeological site published in our system. And we have 1 church, we have botanic garden. They have great botanic garden who joined the club. So they ask guys, can you drive people from this flower to that tree? Yeah, of course we can. Yeah. GPS driving tours, it works there. We have a boat company, a company which carries tourists to the Lake of Geneva. And they found it also quite convenient to entertain people on the boat. And we have several tours from businesses. We found chocolate tour or Swiss watch tour. Well, it's not in Geneva, but it's in Switzerland. But yeah, companies started to publish something. And finally, we have agreement with tourist authorities of Geneva that they also started to publish their tours in our system. So now we have a complete set of what we call smart city. And we think it's, at this moment, when we've done this project, we realize that we are not just mobile audio guide for museum. It's something bigger. It's a whole ecosystem of the whole city. So where does it move in the future? First of all, it's about promotion. We believe that in the future, people who visit the city of Geneva will learn about the existence of the guided tour, starting from the airport, from the train station, and from the hotels. So the hotels, we already tested with hotels. They like to distribute the cards. Now we have free guided tour. Why not? Everybody's happy. Well, of course, we expect more tours because it's going to be snowball effect. People who use the application, they may ask themselves a question. Well, I also have a couple of stories. May I publish it? Of course, yes. It's like YouTube. You publish it, people use it. Gamification is a great, great thing. Imagine a guided tour through the city where every story has to be unlocked. You unlock it through entering some special code. You have to find this code. Or you have to really step into a special place in the city. And then GPS will unload the next story. Or it may go a little bit left, a little bit to the right. So different people end up with different guided tours. Road tours. These stories could be retold also when you drive your car. We already spoke last week with the director of TomTom company in Amsterdam. They liked it. They also were looking for some aggregator for the stories, and here we are. So your stories could be told also in TomTom navigation. Why not? For free. Educational programs. We have a school here, international school in Geneva, which started to work with the Museum of Bohr. And they, school children tried to create tours for the museum. Why not? In Amsterdam, we work with 3 universities, and the universities have teams of students who work on the projects, do the research, publish the guided tours, and they see the results through statistics. We have great statistics, who, where, and how use the application. So that's the future. Well, but remember the screen about showing everything on this on one screen telephone. It looks great. People buy it, say, well, it's a good idea. But believe it or not, we still have issues with some big museums who definitely want to have their own branded application. And they look at it and say, well, guys, could you provide us with white label application so we have our big museum application with our brand, but nothing else? Well, unfortunately, we say most cases no. Well, of course, we don't mind to earn more money, but we believe in the future. We believe that in the future, people really want to have access to open platforms. And we try to help the big museums in different way. We suggest them to brand inside our platform the application with special colors, brand names, etc. We learn their Wi-Fi hotspot, so when people connect to Wi-Fi in the museum, they open our application, it opens exactly on this museum. We know how to do it. So we have a lot of tricks how to help them, and they start to react. First big museum, of course, is Museum of Art and History. We have Museum of Amsterdam in Amsterdam. We have recently museum in Lyon, Museum of Fine Art. They joined us and they really liked it. Unfortunately, she didn't come yet. Okay, good. We have Tretьяков Gallery in Moscow, if you know it, a historical museum. They all started to experiment with this platform, and I believe there is a big future for big museums as well. But of course, small and medium museums, now they really love it. So, conclusions. First of all, this smart city concept is a great opportunity to connect museums and connect them to the city, to the travelers, and get the feedback from them, so it's a big ecosystem. It's quite easy to replicate. We see these projects running now in Florence, in Lyon, in Moscow, in Amsterdam, in Den Haag. And it doesn't require any special management. You don't have to organize a special committee to run the smart city. Well, just city authorities publish guided tours, museums publish their content, and some moment the traveler who gets to the city, he finds it all in one application. That's great, it simply works. Interesting point, museums set footprint in tourism industry. Usually museums work with visitors. They are not interested in travelers who come to the city. But because of these guided tours, museums may publish, especially city museums, they may publish a guided tour which starts from the tourist information office, from the train station, and ends up in the museum. So people come to tourist information office, they learn about free guided tours, they follow it, they come to museum. It means that museums really get to the tourist market. Is it bad or good? I think it's bad. Or good, better good. Because people come to your city not only to spend money, they come to learn something. I had a great discussion 3 years ago in the city of Göteborg in Sweden. And they told me that they have a problem in Göteborg. It's a city with great history. And people spend 200 euros on the train to come there, 200 euros on the hotel, 200 euros on the food. And they come to the city and they see nothing. Well, it's not so impressive as Stockholm, so they take some of pictures, but they know the history somewhere around, but they don't get it. It's implicit promise which was not fulfilled. And in this way, museums may fulfill this promise. And people from different countries, they really need to be educated in their own language. It's not only about translation from English to Chinese. If it's about Chinese, before you talk to them about Calvinism, you have to explain what's Christianity, it's the whole idea of that. So it should be cultural translation, it's quite difficult. And in this way, I believe it, in the end of the day, it's about world peace, believe it or not. For example, I have my personal story. You probably feel from my accent, although I live in Amsterdam, originally I came from Ukraine, exactly from this nice area where we have a great war now, killing people. I have a lot of friends of mine living there. I'm talking to them, believe it or not, their brain is completely brainwashed with propaganda. So it's not possible to persuade them about anything. They believe that the whole world is against them. Europe, America want to kill them. Well, what I did, I took one of these guys, who's my real friend from childhood, I brought him to Amsterdam. And for 1 week I was walking with him through Holland, and I was explaining him how it happens that Holland get to this level. After 1 week, the guy completely changed his opinion. So this storytelling helped him to change understanding of the world. So it's really about understanding different countries. If people understand it more, we have less wars, literally. Global promotion, it's also an interesting effect. If people install this application in Amsterdam, they come to Geneva, well, they open applications, they already see guided tours here. So it's not only a city-wide project, it's country-wide, or actually global project. Well, important notion about technological transformation. We are listening to music for more than 100 years. And we are listening to music through different devices, cassettes, CD discs, iPods, and now it's somewhere in the clouds. And actually the point is that stories or music doesn't change. The only thing we change is technology. The point is that your content should outlive any technology. So that's our idea, that's what we try to propagate to museum world and city authorities world, that when you create great content, it should outlive any technology, probably even our technology. So it's not about choosing us as a platform, it's about uploading your content to any platform you find. In this way, you allow us platforms to fight and to compete, and then you sit there and see us here on the scene competing with each other. That's what you want. You want competition. But your content should really run for, well, history doesn't change. So a story after 50 years probably doesn't change. So that's what we suggest. So your content really should outlive any technology. And open platforms, we believe, also help to attract sponsors. Because if your sponsor learns that your content is going to last for 50 years, most probably you'll get money for it, because the sponsor will know that for 50 years somebody will hear his name. It's not so bad. And great content also makes a difference. Probably some of you heard about the Museum of Titanic. It's not a great museum in terms of museums, but if you get there, they force you to put the headphones. 100% of those who get in, they put the headphones on. And it makes sense. Stories are really great. I remember I experienced it in Valencia when I got out of this museum. It's moving. It was in Geneva, by the way, several months ago. I really had the feeling that I was in the movie. It was very emotional. So great stories, which last for a long period, and which are where you really invest a lot of money, that really make sense. And people will appreciate it, they will share it. So we have a share buttons application. If they like the story, they share with their friends. So it will be a viral effect, so your stories will really go through the whole globe. And here I'm coming to the question, is storytelling in the core of the museum business? We keep on asking this question. For example, last week in Chicago, it was Museum and the Web conference. I had a conversation with the representative of Rijksmuseum from Amsterdam. We discussed exactly this question. He told me, well, Alex, you know, storytelling is not our core business, because everybody could make up story, so we don't care about it. Or another opinion I got yesterday, I was walking somewhere in the city, it was a person from Museum of Communication called Bern, I don't know whether he's here now. I asked him the same question, he told me, well, you know, we don't consider an object as an object if it doesn't have story behind it. Well, of course, it's up to you, to museums, to decide whether storytelling is important or not. From my side, we're just technicians, we just follow you what you say. But from my point of view, I would prefer museum to be an educational institution, not just a warehouse. So I really would like museums to do the storytelling. And just to demonstrate it,
this painting is considered to be
it's from
the
Thomas
first
Crown Affair,
Impressionist
probably you know
work
it.
in history. It started the Impressionist movement. It influenced dozens of major artists who went on to found the first major school or style of the 20th century. Okay, try this. It's worth $100 million.
That's the point. Children need special attitude. So imagine, well, just to speculate a little bit about this painting for $100 million. If the museum spent just 1% of this money, just $1 million, nothing, on the storytelling for this painting, and this, well, you know, for children, for students, for specialists, for adults, I think people would love it, and I think that the value of this painting probably will grow up because people start to talk about it. So, you know, price of the painting is all about art of storytelling. So probably it could be a good investment at the end of the day. So, coming back to my first slide about mobile revolution. We believe it's not a threat, we believe it's an opportunity. And we suggest you to try it yourself. And you may try with our platform, you may try with other open platforms, but really the world of open platforms that's here to help you to develop your storytelling. Thank you, and very important, we really appreciate your feedback and help because we need to understand where to go. That's it. Any questions? It was all clear.
Hi, I'm Guillemette from the Museum of Fine Arts in Lyon. I just wanted to add a comment on this presentation because we just added two guided tours, actually one in French, Italian and English, the highlights of the museum, 20 or so pieces, and one guide for kids in French only, but it's a very user-friendly CMS. We loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we have here some museums, for example, we have Critical Gallery here from Moscow, etc. So we really tried it. But anyway, questions? Yeah, it's coming.
Hi, Sybil from Germany. I have the question. It's free of charge to use for the museums, but the question is for how long, and does it involve any advertisement in the end? Because if we advise museums to use it, and after half a year or 1 year, it changes the level of freeness, I would call it.
Absolutely, great question. Thanks for asking. I really forgot to mention it. The answer is quite simple. Consider we are the platform, like YouTube. Okay, if you think about YouTube, can you imagine that YouTube or Facebook becomes not free? At the moment when Facebook becomes not free, Google Plus say, guys, get out of here, I'm on the scene. competition in the world of platforms. We believe the competition is so huge that it's not possible to survive if you're not free. So we cannot be not free, because otherwise somebody else will be free. And how we are going to earn money? Again, we are not going to invent the bicycle. We are going to advertise, of course, somewhere in the future. And we believe it will be done the following way. First of all, it will be not about advertising inside the museums. What can we advertise in the museum? It will be advertising in the city guided tours. But also in this advertising will be optional. Imagine National Geographic, a great provider of the stories. They may publish free guided tour in Paris or Geneva. And of course it should be free, because people prefer free guided tours. And if they allow us to switch on advertising, then it will be announcement, okay, if you get to this cafe, you get this free cup of coffee, and this cafe pay us €1. We just split it between us and National Geographic. So National Geographic has a choice. Do they want advertising and earn money, or they don't want advertising and no money? It's up to them. It's like Apple Store or Google Play. You publish your software for free, it's for free. You want to charge, you split the money. So I think this advertising will be to the advantage of content providers. But for museums, of course, it's free. It's simple.
Another question, just out of curiosity. These stories that are being uploaded in the sound files are, I guess, IP in a certain sense. So what is the story with the copyright of the stories that are being uploaded? Is it your company?
It's exactly like YouTube. What's copyright when you publish something on YouTube? It's your copyright. You are responsible for it. We are just platform. Okay. So we retain no copyrights. You upload information, you delete information, it's deleted. It's completely up to you. Something wrong with this information, we just ask you to explain to somebody. We already had several cases when somebody claimed to us, okay, you violated somebody's rights. Okay, we just close it for a while, and then we start to negotiate. Again, ladies and gentlemen, general idea, if you don't behave in the right way, somebody else will do it for us. We have no choice. It's not because we are just nice people, we have to be nice. It's competition. Any other questions?
Most often, mobile apps are part of a bigger digital strategy. I don't think you mentioned it. Is there a companion website for people who want the same content on a bigger screen? The CMS seems to be friendly enough. Can you elaborate on that for other platforms?
If people want to see it on the big screen on desktop. Yeah, we have it. Actually, we have 3 platforms, iOS, Android, Windows, and we also have web application. And this web application has 2 forms. One for small screen for telephone and big screen for desktop computer. So you choose how you want to see it. And actually it's more complicated than that. We created this web application originally for the purpose of sharing. Imagine somebody shares your information on the Facebook. So your story is on the Facebook. People click on it and they expect to see it on the website. Okay, so they get to our website. So they review your object on our web application. If they want, they may continue like that. They may hear all the stories through the web application. It's quite full functional. But it's always a button there. If you want more experience, for example, if you want to work offline, or if you want to use GPS, please download the application. At the moment you download the application starts, and when it starts, it asks your web browser, this guy, what has he reviewed? It was Rijksmuseum? Okay, it starts with Rijksmuseum. So application feels what was reviewed in the web. So it's all quite interlinked and quite well done.
The last part is interesting, actually.
The application, when you install the application from Google Play, this application starts. Original application starts with izi.TRAVEL, okay, what do you want? But if you reviewed a couple minutes before the website of, I don't know, Museum of Art and History, or even specific object, this application will start with this object. Say, here you are, please continue.
You don't have to log in for that, it's just because of your browsing history.
No logins. It's simple. That's it? Yeah. Thank you very much.